Hello everyone, I'm Sandy Anastasi, Psychic Channel, Intuitive Astrologer, and Soul Coach. And I'm here with my Psychic Development Tip number 21. Now this is also your world creation Psychic Development Tip number 1. So it's Psychic Development Tip number 21, World Creation Tip number 1. This Psychic Development Tip is one of the most important that you need to understand and really, really learn in order to break away from the repetitive patterns in your life and create, that's right, create the life you want. The concept that we create our thoughts or our reality with our thoughts is widely spoken of these days, yet it's understood by very few. This is why so few people are actually able to put the concept to work in their lives and create their reality the way they want to live it. Believing in the law of manifestation is one thing. The law of attraction, that's one thing. Becoming a manifester is another entirely. Here's how it works. Through your life experience, you're given many, many options, and you're shown many possible futures in response to each thought that you think or contemplate. That is the universe or God, or your higher self, if you will, or your guides or angels, or whomever you wish to call them, showing you options in response to a thought that you have either had or been exposed to. Most of our thoughts are reactive to things around us. Most of us are attracted to those things and experiences that produce immediate pleasure and gratification. For example, we can all relate to eating things that are sweet. So we have a slice of that sweet apple pie, and a little bit later, we find ourselves tasting it again in our minds, savoring the flavor, and thinking how we want another piece. So miraculously, every store we stop at, every home we visit, is now featuring or serving apple pie. Perhaps we realize that we are overdoing the apple pie, and so we decide we need to stop eating it, if we're ever going to take that extra 10 pounds off at any rate. So now we continue to think about it even more intensely. We push it away as hard as we can, and lo and behold, even more of it magically begins to appear in our life, along with dozens of mouth-watering alternatives, until finally something else, probably equally sweet, replaces it, and the process begins all over again. What's happening here, folks? When this has happened to you, do you fault yourself for having no willpower? Many people do. Do you fault yourself for having poor resistance? Bad genes, perhaps? Stop it. That's not what's happening at all. It's normal and human to be attracted to things that feel good, to things that taste good, to things that give us pleasure. But just because something gives us immediate pleasure doesn't mean it's good for us in the long run. The problem is that here on the physical plane, where we all live, pleasurable things often become addictive, which is why we keep bringing them back into our lives and create that same world we were trying to get away from all over again and again and again. The way to stop this recurring pattern in its tracks is to take charge of your own mind. The next time you see an ad for apple pie and your mind immediately focuses on it, remembering how good it is, and your taste buds begin to react, setting the pattern in motion again, take one of these two strategies to break the pattern. A, Once you recognize your mind is misbehaving again, treat it like a child that you're training. Don't berate it or call it bad or punish it or dwell on its problem. Rather, just get it refocused in a new direction. Mentally drag your attention from the ad over to something entirely different that you've been considering doing or having. Stay away from thinking about something to eat, because that's going to help you to avoid the battle with your mind about more sugar. The more often you successfully refocus your thoughts from that thing that maybe you still enjoy but isn't so good for you, the easier it becomes, until eventually you don't need to do it anymore regarding that issue. Once you've become adept, this is B, at the above skill of redirection, you are now ready to practice letting go. This is an important thing to learn. Mastering it sets the stage not only for getting rid of repetitive thought patterns, but for not getting into them to begin with. Wow. Here's how letting go works in this situation. When you next see that ad for apple pie and your mind begins to go into its desire pattern, imagine your mind as a hand about to close into a fist around that desire. And then take control of it. Imagine your mind opening like a hand and holding it open until the image of that apple pie disappears along with your craving for it. If you practice this second option often enough, it's going to become a habit itself, and you'll never become addicted to anything else again, because you will automatically approach all thoughts of desire with that open hand in your mind. That will allow you to think about, consider, and even try those options the universe throws at you in response to your every thought, without getting snared and without being thrown into an addictive pattern by the first good thing you experience. Live life with an open hand and an open mind. Once you've broken these negative thought patterns in your life, you're going to be free to create the life of your dreams. In fact, even in listening to this, you're already taking that first step. Thanks so much for listening. I'll be back again soon with another psychic development tip. Visit me at www.sandyanastasia.com.